Dear all, this is module 50 for the subject of SHRM. What we will discuss in this module, we will continue the HR roles, tensions and ambiguities faced by HR professionals. As we discussed in the last module, that the HR professionals are influenced by the different issues or different interests of the employer, employee, policies, and legislation, the legal requirements to manage the human resource in an organization. In other words, HR professionals must be very conversant with the local laws. For example, can employees in your organization make a union? In Pakistan, the legal system allows employees to make a union. However, since we are talking about a strategic human resource management, we will continue to discuss the strategic dimensions or the strategic role can be played by the HR professionals. Among the tensions and ambiguities, one is inter-role conflict. When we say inter-role conflict, it means that the HR professionals are playing different roles. There might be a conflict between the two roles played by the HR professionals. For example, where carrying out some roles may lead to conflict with other roles. For instance, applying employment legislation which may run counter to the organization's strategic imperatives. What strategically an organization do, having a conflict with applying the employment legislation in the organization. So now there is a conflict, and to choose between the two may not be straightforward and may have some legal repercussions for the organization and for the HR professionals as well. The second issue is known as intra-role conflict, where the expectations of what the HR professionals can achieve are in opposition with what is expected from them. Intra-role. So what is expected from them is in a conflict with what they can achieve. For example, you may have an expectation that employees can be working, or employees might be not asking you to get an double rate for the weekend work or for the Sunday's work. Now, this is against the legislation, but at the same time, there are strategic imperatives that may hinder the HR professionals to achieve the both. To reduce the cost is one of your strategy. However, at the same time, paying employees for the extra hours they have worked, or for the work which is not the part of their contract, may be having a conflict with the strategic imperative. So inter-role and intra-role are very common day-to-day conflicts faced by the HR professionals. This is something based on the roles played by the HR. However, sometimes the third conflict or third type of conflict is known as value role conflict. HR professionals, at the end of the day, they are human beings. They come to the organizations for work, and they also bring to the organization their values. They are coming from the same society from where the employees of the organization are coming. They are also having some values. When there is a conflict between the personal values of an HR professional and the role of demand by the employer, when there is a conflict between the role they are playing and values, their personal values, we call them value role conflict. So there could be different examples. However, for example, your own value is very kind or to be very lenient to the employees. However, your role does not demand that. For example, a policeman may be a very kind-hearted and a nice person, but his role, his job, does not allow him to perform that role. So there is a conflict of your value and there is a conflict of the role you are playing. Similarly, the HR professionals, they might like to accommodate, they might want to pay the employees when their month has been ended, when the job is done. But the requirement of the role might suggest otherwise. The last one is old and new role conflict, where a change of role brings new pressures that may conflict with existing demands. Organizations are continuously evolving, continuously changing, and HR role is also changing, and there might be a change in the organization, and that change is demanding something new from the HR professionals, and there might be a conflict between the one and what you have been doing. So in other words, we can summarize that HR profession or HR professionals face different type of ambiguities, interventions, and their role is not straightforward because they are in between the legal requirements, employer demands, and employees' expectations. Thank you.